Hi, this is Jacqueline here with the Grow movement. It is a movement. It really is. And I am so thankful that you are growing with me, kings and queens. Thank you for being a part of the movement. Thank you for realizing that it is time for us to rise from oppression. I had spoke to a young man on Facebook, and he asked me why did I call him king, and I said that's how I address royalty. And his response was, I knew this day would come. And here we are, growing in love. Love will conquer if you just believe. God, Prince said so, and he was a godly man. Um, Legends in our own right, you know, if we choose to be. I was talking to somebody on Twitter, and this person, see, because when I got on Twitter, I got on Twitter for really like about 4 years ago, and to talk about Donald Trump, what was going on, trying to see if what was getting ready to happen. Because I'm telling you, I used to go into panic about Donald Trump. And I would have to call my son, who was a Trump supporter at the time. I would call him and ask him to, what's going on? What he gonna do? And he would calm me down. And the Lord. So, I don't really delve off in those conversations about Donald Trump too much anymore, except to talk about, the insurrection that almost occurred. Um, my mind is focused on the Grow movement and lifting Africans from oppression, and anything and everything is for that purpose. I'm going to grow the rest of my life. Just like I told him on Facebook, I'm deeply planted in the Lord, and I will continue to grow and rise in God. And as I grow, I will spread the love. Because see, that's what planting seedlings do when they plant it in the ground. Anything, even a mountain, and a mountain ain't even alive, but it begins to reach its greatness in God. Ain't that something? God created something that it ain't even alive, and it rises anyway, even though there's nothing pumping through its veins. Ain't no veins. It's just dirt that just accumulates and piles up. And it releases all this stuff it don't need no more. Just like us, releases for unforgiveness and grudges and hatefulness and backbiting, all this other envy, jealousy, all this other stuff, that's wrong. Pride goes before destruction, all of that. You got to release all that. That's what a mountain does. It lets all that go, and it reaches its greatness in God, literally. And that's what we're going to do, people. And it's working all over the world. I shared something with them last night on Facebook, where all the cities and where we're growing. And it's like, 42, and we getting there. I mean, we growing all over the United States and in 31 other countries. So that lets you know 4 months later from a haunted house, 4 months later, look at God. This ain't none of me, this God. I told you when I had my little Facebook, when I was allowed to have one, before I met my husband, when I had my little Facebook page, wasn't nobody but 80 people on there, just my friends, little friends and family. But look at us now. Look at this family. A great family, a godly family, lifting one another up, being there, just encouraging one another. That's what we supposed to do. And we reaching one another all over. I mean, I'm reaching people. I ain't no celebrity, but I'm reaching folks. And these celebrities, they sitting up in they nice mansions and living it up. One celebrity was crying because she lost her earring in the swimming pool. And I'm sitting up here yesterday crying over the plight of Africans and what we are going through in this country, how we are losing our lives, and it don't seem to matter to no one but just a few of us. Everybody else is oblivious to what's going on, even other famous Africans. They done removed themselves so that you can't even email some of them. I'm going to tell you, you can't even leave a message on Instagram for someone to let them know, hey, look, we got something going on down in the community. Do you think you can speak on it or say something or tell these kids something or encourage some folks? Get some folks off drugs. Tell them it's another way. We got some talented and lost people who really know how to do some things. But they lost right now, and they could really use an encouraging word from you. But no, they ain't got time for that. They got their parties and they other different kind of stuff they got to go to and attend to. Different functions that they doing, red carpet, all this other foolishness. Even though right now I'm trying to reach them. And even though right now they ain't acting, they ain't doing nothing. Except watching the trial like everybody else. Well, I can tell you the outcome of that. Donald Trump is going to be be acquitted. He's going to be acquitted because he got some co-conspirators on the jury, and they cannot convict him without pulling in them own sets. He talking about drain the swamp. He filled up the swamp. So now he got some people he trying to get up out of it. These people, it's going to come out in the rinse cycle. Just like I told them on Twitter, it's going to come out in the rinse cycle. We finna find out about all this other stuff. But in the meantime, we got something going on too. Those lawmakers doing their job. They are really putting on a show for the world to see what this man really tried to do. So much so that the top Republican who had Donald Trump's back, had his back so much that she had his shirt in her hands. Nikki Haley done turned around. So, okay, let's wait and see what happened. The rest of them finna show up and show out too and show these senators. But the senators cannot convict. They can't. Not those Republicans, not the GOPQ. They can't convict because if they do, it's going to show their own guilt. So I can let you know what's going to happen with that. So in the meantime, we got a movement. We bringing Africans up out of oppression, and it's working all over the world. Y'all telling the gentleman, it's working. It truly is. Because one reason, GROW is working. God commands us to love. He commands it. And love will conquer if you just believe. Love drives out hate. It does. Light reveals darkness. Evil has no say here. Evil has no say. I root out the evil. I stand in front of the evil. Like Dr. King, he walked in front of the march. He was right there. See, he didn't do like Donald Trump did and stood in front of his supporters in a bulletproof shield. He stood up there and spoke and said what thus said the Lord, what God put on his heart to tell us, that the movement is through love, nonviolence. So here I am to carry on the torch to let you know that through me, the ancestors are through me to tell you to lift us up from oppression. See, I'm protected. I'm shielded. I'm watched. God done carried me. That's why I tell you I don't take no medicine. I don't take anything. I'm not sick. But sickness is all around me. All through my family from generation to generation, just like it is your family. But God, God protected me for a time such as this, even though I was doing stuff to myself, drinking, going through, thinking I was going to find my answers at the bottom of a bottle. But come to find out, but God, even in my darkest days, when I lost everything, didn't know what was getting ready to happen. Lord, help, what's going to happen next? But God said, listen here, I got you. Told me to go to a scripture, Jeremiah 29:11, who told me I will be found of you again. When you are lost, I will be found of you again. And I will bring you out of captivity, which is where I was in my own captivity. I will bring you out of captivity and bring you out with substance. And you will rise. And here we are, rising with substance. And we rising all over the world. Now, what I need you to do is be like the great mountain. Because when you look up at a mountain, there ain't no mountain sitting up there by itself unless it's a man-made hill. What I need you to do is be like the mountain. Spread love. Start spreading love all over the world. You ain't got to say nothing to nobody. Just get somebody to smile. Tell your brother, hey, look, I know how to do that. Let me help you up. Get the talented and lost. Grab hold of them. Because I'm telling you something, that's the heartbreaking thing. Our people who have fallen up under the trap, the setup of this country. You got some very talented people who know how to do a lot of things. Very skilled folks, but they lost. See, we got to get them. We need to get a hold of them. And we need to begin to build in our own community. Because, see, you can sit up and wait on reparations all day long. We know Joe Biden going to come through, but it's a bureaucracy of things that's got to be done first. He go ahead and send it on out. But Joe Biden is by the book. He trying to show the world how things is truly supposed to be done, not by overreaching and doing executive orders and doing all this and that and going here and there and stepping all over folks that he done put in position. That ain't how you do things. You do things decent and in order, and that's what God said. Decent and in order. And I know you waiting on the stimulus payment, and you just got to hold on and wait on the Lord. Because just like I just told you, things have to be done decent and in order. You just can't go rush out doing a whole bunch of things, messing some other stuff up, then calling something a joke that's on his way over here, and doing folks different kind of way, throwing babies in cage, doing all kinds of, see, that's just driven by evil. Putting folks in acting positions to act out evil, that's just evil. And that's not decent and in order. That's why the whole plan fell apart, and it's still falling apart. You got the jury going meeting with the guilty. That lets you know right there that it's some evil going on. That right there, they sitting up gossiping and talking about it on the news, but that let you know that they all about evil. I don't even listen to the news. I just look on there and see what they talking about and check in with a couple different places. That's all I need. And I got the Lord, because look here. It don't matter what the evil plotting. See, because this train gonna keep on rolling. That evil can't derail this train. This train got destination greatness up ahead, and we on it. And we gonna get off, and we gonna disembark at destination greatness. The evil gonna be left behind for the Lord and the ancestors to deal with, just like they dealing with them now. They dealing with them. I'm gonna tell you, he in there getting the organic food, but he going through, honey. It ain't the organic food that he used to. It's not the environment that he's used to having. It's not the freedoms that he's allowed to express. See, he in there now with some other different folks, and he got to be quiet. He spoke out about the organic food, but I'm tell you something. They gonna put him in a protective position, because they got to. They gotta protect him. They gotta protect them folks. Because he's a danger to himself by what he went and did and what he said, and the one carrying that Confederate flag through the rotunda, he's a danger to himself. The one that hung that noose up, waiting on Mike Pence, he's a danger to himself. Because see, what they don't realize, while they so busy doing evil and conducting their evil and plotting their evil and planning their evil, God got people like Mr. Goodman, a good man, that he put in the way of evil to move evil out the way. So, honey, please don't stress about evil. Don't let no more gray hairs come up on your head worrying about what the evil gonna do. Because, see, we got but God. God gonna get in the way, honey. You can plot evil for months, just like what they did, but God, God gonna get in the way. So I stopped stressing about evil. I used to sit up and wonder and worry, bite my fingernails, wonder what's gonna happen, drink about the evil, talk about the evil, worry about the evil, pray about the evil, stress about the evil, you cry about the evil, call mama about the evil, but I got over the evil. I stood the evil in the eye. I stood evil face to face. Get thee behind me, Satan, but God, I ain't gonna sit up and worry about you and what you gonna do. I don't stress about no evil. I go out and see a spirit standing there. If it's an evil spirit, I'm gonna walk right past. Get thee behind me, Satan. I'm gonna walk right past, because I ain't scared of evil. And evil know that. Evil call me, evil text me. This one evil, this one demon text me and say, I miss arguing with you. Now, what kind of mess is that? To text somebody, I miss arguing. They let you know you want some evil. So guess what I did? This is what I do to evil. I throw love back at it. I threw one of them inspirational scriptures that I throw. I don't even let the weather steal my joy and some other stuff. Throw that back on the evil. Guess what the evil did? Turn around, left me alone. Didn't send me no more text message after that. You see, the evil don't want to hear about God. He already told me that. Don't talk to me about God. I don't want to hear nothing about that. Because, see, you want some evil, and then you want to drag me in it. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm always going to keep it 100. Always. That's why I don't have no foolishness on here, no sponsors and all that, because I got to get on here and tell you what thus said the Lord. If I were not in the GROW program, I would be just as well be dead. because the evil told me I'm here to serve it. What's going to happen if you serve an evil? You're going to die. That's what's going to happen. You're going to die in the midst of it, and never reach your greatness. This is a battle that we in, people. It's good versus evil. So what you got to do is stop doing you, because doing you is messing you up. Leave the evil alone. Stay away from evil. Don't ride with the devil. Now, don't even be in the midst of his company. You don't want the devil around you. Don't even go where the devil at. Don't go over there where they doing that at. Go somewhere else, Go hang out with somebody who can tell you something, who can give you a good word. Matter of fact, go hang out on the podcast, because there's a whole lot of good word on that, about 170-something episodes. And if that ain't enough, go to YouTube. You can get a good word on YouTube. If that ain't enough, go to Facebook. You can get a good word over there on Facebook. Everything is linked up down at the bottom of the website, people. We got to grow, kings and queens. We got to grow over this oppression of this country and of ourselves. I'm going to tell you, I got in touch with the NAACP yesterday. I left a message. I'm willing to work with them, and I'm willing to work with anybody to help us overcome oppression. I'm going to keep on pressing toward the mark. I left several letters and messages with several celebrities, but just like I told you, they are very hard to get a hold of. They don't want to be bothered. Unless you are in that ring, you ain't one of them. But see, once I get in that ring, I'm going to let them know, hey, look, what you got, you can't take it with you. You need to get your heart right towards your people. Fix yourself. Ain't all of them ain't like that now. It ain't all of them, but it's a lot of them that's like that don't want to be bothered with the people who put them in there. Okay, greatness reached over oppression through wisdom all over the world. God bless you, kings and queens.